Ron DeSantis trying to stay relevant, even though with just such a whiny voice. There's just no way he's gonna not always sound like a substitute teacher, okay? And the elites at your school, don't want me to teach again because I can't be near kids or whatever. But I'm here to tell you that I'm gonna ban all your books. So Ron DeSantis' latest thing is banning, because of course Florida. When have they ever expanded anything other than access to guns? Um, Banning lab grown meat. Now, on its face, lab grown meat sounds a little gross, but then you think about the impact of real meat. And if you've ever seen the inside of a factory farming, a lot grosser than whatever the sort of, um, eyeballless, like, just sort of like seething blob that is lab grown meat. But Ron DeSantis believes that the 1% at Davos is the reason that we are doing lab grown meat, not because it is far better for the climate. And he wants to prevent Florida from being subjected to lab grown meat / protect at all costs the beef industry and the agricultural industry, because that's probably who pays it.
Being good stewards of these industries, of the state, of the public well-being, is to think forward and head off threats before they even come. So I recognize the threats that we're seeing from some of these elites throughout the world in places like Davos. I understand that they've put a target on the back of agriculture as being somehow driving all these problems. And in the state of Florida, we've put down the marker very clearly. We stand with agriculture.
Somehow, I don't know how. Yeah, it's from farts, dude. It's from runoff. That is your home. That's who you are. You were born. You are a political cow fart, dude. You spew more CO2 and methane into this atmosphere than any other politician. You should recognize the game. But also, I think it's funny because Ron DeSantis is a lab grown politician. So I feel like he should be much more endeared to lab grown meat. But there he is saying, in order to be stewards of what? Stewards of what? Usually when you say stewards, it's always some sort of like biblical context. It's usually like stewards of the earth, stewards of God's green earth that they gave us to not mess up, right? And yet the massive amounts of factory farming, the ways in which we eat meat, the ways in which we raise those that cattle and pigs and whatnot, not only is leading to disgusting terms that I just learned about, like pork larva tapeworm, which once again, for review, because we did this on the bonus show, is when a pig eats human feces that has tapeworm, and then a human eats that pig. Now, if that keeps going and that human's poo is then eaten by the pig, who knows? It's just ad infinitum of tapeworm, and we get more and more unqualified presidential candidates in the form of RFK Jr. What I'm trying to say is, usually when you're a steward of the land. No, Ron DeSantis wants to be stewards of industry. And then I love when someone tries to sound smart and then they're like, because they say that it's causing problems because of whatever. You can't just throw a whatever in there. Let's briefly, and this was to Vox, but animal agriculture accounts for 15 to 20% of global greenhouse gas emissions and is under increasing pressure to shrink its environmental footprint. 15 to 20%. And not only that, there's a lot of disgusting things that happen. Feeding cattle chicken feces, feeding pig feces from other pigs. Everyone's eating feces. Forcibly impregnating animals. Well, I mean, Republicans are all about forcible impregnation. Ripping out female shrimp's eyes so they lay more eggs. That's just so terrible. What do you think? Shrimp, okay. Shrimp don't have the brains the cows do. Don't at me, shrimp lobby, okay? Or the shrimp vegans out there, okay? I don't care. But what awful, physical response does ripping out an animal's eyes causes them to be like, I'm dying, I need to make more eggs? Like, how evil do you have to fucking be? Like, that's so, like, I eat shrimp, okay? Not always, it's not really good for you, but like, even me, I'm like, whoa, that's awful. And cell meat, by the way, is cultivated. It sounds weird, but you feed, I'm pretending like I know what it is. It's made, according to Vox, by feeding animal cells a mixture of nutrients to produce real meat without slaughtering an animal. It's an emerging technology billed as a solution to farming's enormous carbon footprint and horrific animal treatment. It was approved last June by the USDA and the US Department of Agriculture as safe to eat and legal to sell. And will there be fewer like mad cow H1N1? Like how many like what is it, people? Because like this is for the right. It's like, well, first we're gonna ban cell grown, then we're gonna ban Impossible Burgers. Now we're gonna we're gonna ban, tofu. Like truly, because soy boys and all that. Because nobody wants to be a soy boy. This is the level, and it's all a bullshit culture war to protect industry, and of course, yes, destroy the planet. So yeah, I'm bitching about that. Ron, you are lab grown meat. Okay. That's what the meatball in Meatball Ron is made out of. Pure lab grown. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do it.